Bums to Bonneville. It's an idea that started 2 years ago. One afternoon, I was over at my parents' house having dinner, and my dad piped up just before dinner and asked my brother-in-law and I what we thought about the idea of going down to Bonneville during Speed Week. Initially, I said no. Well, then I wasn't interested because my family, my wife and my son and I, we don't have a lot of money, and if I'm going to spend any of that time on vacation, I want to spend it with my family. So initially, I said no. I said I wasn't interested. In fact, I feel kind of bad because I actually said that my wife wouldn't go for it. When the reality was, I didn't want to go for it. Just because I didn't think that was fair. Well, about a year went by, my dad brought it up again. And this time, after the dinner was over, I brought it up with my wife, and I said, Dad's talking about going down to Bonneville. And I was kind of dismissive with it. And I said, what do you think, to my wife? And she says, well, I think it's a really good idea. I think you should go. And I gotta admit, I was a little surprised. I figured that she would have the same sort of mindset that I did, that, we really only have enough money to go on one vacation per year. And for me to go off by myself without my family was a little selfish. Now, the bike I have is only a 450cc motorbike. It's a cafe racer, which my father and I have spent countless hours building together, and the bike would make it down to Bonneville. I wouldn't, however. It's not really a bike that's comfortable enough to ride for any long distance. So the more we talked about it, the more we realized that I would bring the bike down, but I would bring it down on the trailer, because it'd be kind of cool to have this bike that Dad and I built together and take it out onto what we consider to be hallowed ground. So that's how this all sort of has developed. It's basically where this has ended up. And now, 10 days from now, we're all heading south to the Utah desert to see what happens. So I'm excited about that. I'm still feeling a little guilty about leaving my wife behind, but I imagine I'll probably get over that when I'm on the highway. At least I hope so. Yeah. That's my end of it. Beautiful sunset.
So the idea actually comes from a lunch that John Bryson and I had last summer. We were at Ricky's and having lunch, and we do this thing weekly where he buys one week and I buy the next, and we argue about whose turn it is to buy and stuff like that. So same sort of thing with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So anyways, we were talking, and John had sold his motorcycle and then subsequently got another one, and so we were talking about, he started the conversation by saying he thought that maybe we should go on a bike trip somewhere. He was keen to do that. And so I said, oh, you know, it'd be fun. And I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe we'll go and do the Highwood Pass, which is, you know, sort of a half day or 3/4 of a day kind of a trip. So we talked about it more and more, and the next thing I know, he's talking about going up to northern BC. And I'm thinking, oh, you're not talking about an afternoon.
An afternoon, you're talking
this
a
is
couple
like,
days.
This is a couple of days or more.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to go, and I guess it's fair to say I've always wanted to go back to Bonneville, because I was there when, just after Mom and I got married, we went to California by car and had a 67 Cougar convertible.
Yeah, I remember that car. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a great car.
It was a great car. And so we drove down via Salt Lake City, and we went out, we were driving by the sign that said Bonneville Salt Flats, and of course this sort of goes back to my teenage years, because I was always a little bit of a gearhead. And I remember Mickey Thompson in the Challenger. He was the fastest man on wheels at 406 miles an hour. And that was a big deal in those days, for me anyways. I thought that was pretty cool. So anyways,
still pretty fast. I mean,
pretty fast.
Even by today's standard, for anything over 400 miles an hour, I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's not kilometers, that's
miles.
miles
an hour, yeah,
that's moving it. And I built models of the Challenger and all of this sort of stuff, as I recall. Anyhow, so I always wanted to go back, and so I saw the sign, and we pulled out onto the salt flats, and Mom got out of the car, and I rolled up the flats a little bit, but not terribly fast. And anyhow, getting back to the lunch, I said to John, you know, I've always wanted to go back to Bonneville for Speed Week. And I'd sort of looked at it in the last couple of years, and you know, in terms of when it is and all of this stuff. And I said, what about that? And he suddenly was just sort of taken by the idea. Like, yeah, that's an excellent idea. So we started, we talked to different people about it, and the next thing you know, like, we've got a whole raft of people that want to go.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of grew out of that little conversation.
Wow.
You know, it's kind of a back of the napkin kind of a deal. So suddenly John's got two guys that he knows that he had mentioned it to wanted to go. I mentioned it to Mike Harrison, and he was all over it, you know. And then finally, James was keen to go, and then I think you were the last one to sign on.
Yeah.
And which was perfect, because you being able to and willing to bring a chase vehicle and bring your cafe so you could ride it on the salt. It just, everything just sort of
fell into place.
Yeah, boomity boom boom. So
yeah, well, you kind of have to take the truck down with that bike, because I'm sure the bike wouldn't make it there, but I don't think I would. I'd be stuck in a permanent fetal position for the rest of my life, I think.
Yeah.
On. All right, so we're with John Bryson, one of the members of the Bums to Bonneville documentary. John, just wondering, when did you first come up with the idea of going to Bonneville?
Well, it was about 5 months ago when my good friend Rob Cardiff approached me and said he got this idea on his bucket list, and was I interested, and it just snowballed into an actual trip. It's as simple as that.